So welcome to all my students of Plus 1B. This is your very first day. We have already interacted. Fine. Now I will be coming back to your academics. We'll be starting with this book, Hornbill first. The very first chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. Now, before I start, I would like to ask how many of you are having grandparents at home? Just raise your hand. Grandparents at home. Those lucky people, I must say. Lucky ones. Okay, Divnoor is having Diksha, Jodhpreet, Diljit, many others. Most of you. Very good. This is a blessing, beta. You know, when we have grandparents at home, this is a blessing to us. Actually, we are under the shelter of Almighty already, you can say. They are the, you can say, God to us. They have, spent throughout their life, they have spent to take care of their parents, their children who are their parents now, your parents now. So the way they have taken care of their kids, and then when you are born, granddaughter or grandson, they start taking care of you immediately. They take the charge of taking care of grandchildren. Nobody, ask them how are you. Nobody likes to spend time with the aged people because our thinking does not match. Maybe your preferences are studies these days, you are busy in your schedules. They are having their they just like to sit and chat about casual things, about the things which are not important to you. Fine. For you right now, important is your subjects, your musics which you want to listen to, or the movies you would like to watch, or some on Netflix and all. This is your area of preference in teenage. But their area of preference, they talk about spiritual things, religious things, or the things related to the kitchen. Especially the grandmothers would like to feed you all the time. Ki, my grandson, my granddaughter should eat more, find desi ghee khalo, and that sort of thing. The love and affection they show just by feeding you, by taking care of you. And we people, start getting irritated, or we are not able to get time also. So all they need is our love, all they need is our affection and our time. A few moments out of a huge day, if you can spend with them, their day is made. Right? So we will be learning from this chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. Grandmother, who's the protagonist of this chapter. Protagonist is the main character. So whenever I use the word protagonist, it means main character of the story. Fine. Antagonist is the villain of the story. So there is no villain, there is no antagonist in the story. The story is just about relationship between a grandmother and her grandson, who is Khushwant Singh himself. Khushwant Singh, an Indian writer, he has projected his real relation, beta. This is autobiographical in nature also. So he has written about his relation with his grandmother, the sort of bond he shared with her when she was alive, the kind of sometimes, even words are not required to communicate with the person you love the most. Sometimes your parents and your grandparents look at you and you're able to understand what they're trying to say. So that sort of relation he was sharing. And there are three stages to that relationship. Firstly, when he was a child, fine. And then when he will be going to English school, and his parents will be shifting to city, and what sort of relationship he was having. Very good relation with his grandmother, because grandmother was the only one who was taking care of Khushwant Singh. Fine. And thirdly, at last, he will be going to university. He has to leave that house, and grandmother was left at home, obviously. And then the relationship changed. But even then, she kept on missing the grandson. Whether they will be able to meet or share some words and emotions or not, that is to be seen in the story that I won't disclose to you. So right now, I'm sharing screen with you all. You also keep your books ready. I prefer books. Hard copies are always best. They do not give strain to your eyes. You can see screens bit in front of you. First chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. These are the expressions which will be coming into the chapter. Fine, but I will be explaining these expressions when they will come into the context of the chapter, rather than doing it before. Okay, so I'll be starting the chapter now. Keep your pencils in your hand in case you need to note down any word. If any query will be there, you just mark it, and at the end of the period, you can ask me rather than interrupting in between. Okay. So let's start reading the chapter. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. People said that she had once been young and pretty and that had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. Now, Khushwant Singh is saying that my grandmother, like whenever we just talk about the word grandparents, the image comes into our mind is that old age, fine, like everybody's grandmother. So she was an old woman and she had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. So maybe he's writing this chapter, he's 20-year-old. So he's telling that from the last 20 years, I am observing my grandmother. She's still the same. There is no change in her. And people around Khushwant Singh, they tell him that once she was pretty, once she was young, but Khushwant Singh has not eyewitnessed that thing when she was young. He was not there, right? So he has seen her as an old lady only, and he had not even met her grandfather. So he has just learned from his parents and from other people and relatives that once she was very pretty, once she was very young and she had husband, and now he will be talking about his grandfather. Underline these lines. These are the only lines where we would be reading about grandfather. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. Mantelpiece is that shelf. Fine, in drawing rooms we have shelves sometime where we keep our things. So grandfather's portrait, it's not portrait. T, last T is silent, beta. Fine. Grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban. So this is the character sketch of grandfather. Only in this picture we could see him. He's just wearing a big turban and loose fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest. It means very long beard he was having, very long, that his chest even was covered with his beard. And he looked at least 100 years old. Means in the picture only, Khushwant Singh has seen his grandfather, and it seems as if he's 100 years old. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. So he did not look like, means such kind of personality he was looking as if he could have just lot and lot of grandchildren only. He was looking quite aged because of his white beard. Fine. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother being young and pretty, now from here onwards, as for my grandmother being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. Now, this first expression, which was written beta in the beginning of the book, the thought was almost revolting means the quite opposite, that he cannot believe that thought. Fine, that he was not able to believe that thought. It was almost revolting. He could not believe that once his grandmother was young and pretty. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child that seemed quite absurd and undignified. Absurd is strange, means very weird, strange, that is absurd. Undignified, which is not respectful on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Now, you might have, asked your grandparents, they might have told you about their past, about the kind of life they would have, fine, as a child. And we, even till now, I personally ask my grandfather, he hails from Pakistan and he tells me stories, and even I spellbound to those stories. I listen to him, that we enjoy, we relish such stories. Similarly, Khushwant Singh's grandmother would tell all the fables of the prophets. Prophets are saints, beta. Sant jisko keh dete ho aap. Prophets. Fine. Fables are those fairy tales. So she would, explain very absurd stories about how they would play, how they would enjoy as a child. And Khushwant Singh would listen to them very carefully as if she was telling a fairy tale to him. So he was very much interested in the stories which grandmother would tell him. So is it clear to everyone? She had always been, I'm just going to compile the first page. and then I'll be asking for any doubt. She had always been short and fat. Underline, this is the character sketch of grandmother. Now, very important. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. So this is the physique of grandmother. She's not tall in height. She's quite short in height. She's fat and slightly bent. You know, when we get old, grow older, our backs start stooping forward. So she was slightly bent. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. It means on her face, signs of, you can say, aging signs could be seen easily. That she was quite old, that only wrinkles could be seen on her face. From everywhere on her face, only wrinkles could be seen. That shows she was quite aged lady. No, we were certain she had always been as, next page, beta. We had known her. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older. Means she was so old at that time that nobody can more older than that, and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. You know, some people have that kind of look, that even if you meet them after 20 years or so, or after, you can say, 5 years, 10 years, they just look the same. Some people have such physique, their physical features, their you can say, they will neither they grow fat nor they grow thin, so their body types is like that only. So grandmother falls into that category, who remains the same throughout the years. So he's saying that since you can say, when he was a child, he has seen his grandmother such, in such position, and now when he's growing older, he himself has become adult. Even now he just sees and perceives his grandmother just the same. But she was uh, then she could never have been pretty, but she was beautiful. What is the definition of beautiful for you? When we say someone, when we look at someone, so she's very pretty, she's very beautiful. So being pretty and being beautiful, there is difference. Being pretty, when we talk about being pretty, this is related to something physical, physically being pretty. Beautiful is inside out. Some people are beautiful the way they carry themselves. They are beautiful the way they talk. Find the beautiful the way they handle others. Find their personalities are quite attractive, you can say. So this grandmother was beautiful. How she was beautiful, underline beta. She hobbled about the house in spotless white. Hobbling about means moving here and there. In spotless white, with one hand resting on her waist. So this is the, you can say, personality of grandmother. She would wear always spotless white, pure white clothing she would wear. One hand always on her waist to balance her stoop. जो उसका पीछे से stoop निकला हुआ था, to balance that she had to keep hand over there, over her waist, and the other telling the beads of the rosary. Now, what is the telling the beads of her rosary? You might have seen people holding a, you can say, rosary and keeping counting the beads. They start telling the names. Actually, they are. This is used for religious purpose. Some people count the names when they just take the name of the god. They keep on counting the beads also. Their hands also move. They can do lip sync also while recalling the name of the god. So they are. She's holding one rosary in her hand, fine, and keep on just counting the beads, and her hands are moving. This is the, you can say, personality of grandmother. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale puckered face. Pale puckered face is very dull face. When she's having wrinkles and she's dull because of her old age, and silver colored, like white colored and silver colored locks, जो उसके face पे बाल आ रहे हैं, those are the locks, you can say, scattered over her face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. Inaudible, which cannot be listened, which cannot be perceived. What she was speaking, nobody can understand that. Fine, inaudible it was. Yes, she was beautiful. Fine. This is the way she was beautiful. This is why she was beautiful. That the way she used to carry herself, pure white clothing, silver locks over her face, rosary, and keeping one hand on her waist, and all the time working. At such age, she was all the time working at house and constantly moving inaudible prayers. Prayer does not mean you go to temple and you keep on standing in front of the Lord and keep on reciting prayers. Prayers can be made silently also without showing to others. Just while doing your household chore also, you can just pray to God. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains. Underline beta. This is the question also in your textual question in your book. Underline this. She was like the winter landscape in the mountain. This is the device of simile. Simile is a poetic device which is used to make comparisons like the winter landscape. They have compared grandmother with winterland. You have everybody of us have made drawings of landscape drawing sabne kari hai, wo mountains, river coming out, hut and trees. You can see basically in class 6th onwards we have done that. So they have compared that she was just like that scene of beautiful landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity. Serenity is again which is very soothing, which gives us calm. Fine, serene, pure, an expanse of pure white serenity. The way we just perceive the natural beauty of nature. When we go to some hill station, we see landscape, mountains, beautiful clouds and trees, and we say serene. What a beauty it is. In that way, they have compared the beauty of grandmother with such landscape scene, breathing peace and contentment. Peace and contentment. Contentment again means satisfaction. Clear? Now, after describing better the, you can say the personality of grandmother, the physical features of grandmother, now he will be moving on to his relationship, the kind of relationship with which he was sharing. We are still having 3-4 minutes with us, beta. Fine. So my grandmother and I were good friends. Only this paragraph which I have highlighted, we will be reading. Fine. Then we will be calling it off. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city. And we were constantly together. So this is the first phase of Khushwant Singh with his grandmother. They were very good friends. Parents were working. They left him with grandmother and they shifted to city. And then grandmother and Khushwant Singh were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning. So underline this. What was the routine of Khushwant Singh along with grandmother when he was in village? Clear? Parents shifted to city, but he was still in the village. She used to wake him up in the morning and get him ready for the school. Then after that, she said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing song. Monotonous is very dull and boring. Very in a single tone. She would sing. Why she would sing monotonous way, sing song prayer? Because she wanted Khushwant Singh should listen to that religious song and she wanted him to recall. She wanted him to remember that. That's why deliberately she would sing while bathing him, while dressing him up, in hope that I would listen to it and I will get to know all the lyrics by heart. So I listened because I loved her voice but never bothered to learn it. So Khushwant Singh was not interested in cramming the lyrics of that song, that religious hymn which she would sing, but he loved the voice of her grandmother. That's why he would listen to her voice. Fine. So we are not left with much time. So I won't be explaining the chapter